Now, you've probably come across plenty of strange and spooky videos online, no doubt. But have you ever seen anything like this? Now, before we dive into the madness, brace yourself. This episode is packed with cryptid sightings and paranormal moments that'll flip your understanding of the unknown. But first, let's break down this clip and see what's going on. I'm Steve. This is Classified Captures. The subject of dinosaurs has always been an interesting one. Many individuals believe they're extinct. There are a few who think otherwise. Clips like what you are seeing on your screen make it difficult to know who's actually right. The individual who uploaded this clip did so claiming he'd seen a pterodactyl. Now, anyone who knows anything about dinosaurs knows these things went extinct centuries ago, yet here's a clip showing a creature that looks exactly like you'd expect a pterodactyl to look. This was captured at the Rocky River Reservation. While some were skeptical of its authenticity, the uploader insisted it was the real deal. He claims he wouldn't have believed it himself if he hadn't seen it with his own eyes. As he tried to defend the photo's authenticity, others shared similar experiences. They too chanced upon the rare sight of this same dinosaur in the sky. As the debates raged on, a thought hit me. The pterodactyl, well, it looks a lot like a pelican. And after doing a bit of Googling, I realized that the pelican had indeed looked like a pterodactyl in flight under the right circumstances. And when I shared this with the team, Julius, the team scientist and logician, smiled and nodded. This made me feel like I'd made a logical argument, but Aaron, our team conspiracist, well, he shook his head in disbelief. Aaron believes my quest to be respected by Julius is making a non-believer of me and all that we believe and hold dear. But what say you guys? Still on strange captures, take a look at this one. What comes to mind? For many people, this was most definitely a mermaid hiding in the dark. For others, an image of a mermaid sitting in the open near a human settlement is too good to be true. This was allegedly captured in Florida, and the uploader states he believes it might be a mermaid. Again, I don't doubt the possibility, but after taking a second and a third look at it, well, I felt it looked gray. That might not mean much to many, but anyone who is familiar with 3D works knows that the models usually look gray before the final production is done. I know I'm starting to sound like Julius right now, but that made me skeptical of its authenticity. Perhaps I'm just overthinking things. Perhaps it looks like that way because of the lighting available that day and the angle from which the clip was taken, but either way, I could use your opinions right now. What do you guys think we're dealing with here? This particular one was sent in by an individual who recently found our channel. According to him, he uploaded this clip online because he felt it looked unusual. It was allegedly captured on his home security system. In the clip, we see something translucent yet vibrant approach the camera. We don't see its full form, but we know it's there due to the approaching vibrance. A few seconds into the clip, it passes, and we don't catch the full glimpse of it. It makes it look and feel like there's a ghost-like presence near the camera, but is there though? Some in the community believe that's the case, others, not so much. They believe this might be the wing of a bug captured by the camera. Some in the community shared similar experiences, but the uploader was not buying it. He states he knows what the wings of an insect look like, and what you see on your screen isn't that. And you've seen the clip. So what do you think? Do you see the bluish-green outline in the sky? You do? Well, what do you think it is? Some felt it was a projection in the sky, whereas others felt it was a portal activating. Naturally, this has led to debates and feuds among brethren of the paranormal community. To the believers of the projection technology, the government is firing up Project Bluebeam again to stir our hearts and minds in one direction. To the believers of the portal theory, this is definitely a portal letting something in. What? Well, we can't tell, but the only problem with that assertion is that we don't see anything enter or go out, and this makes some feel it's most likely an illusion beam at work. There's also the small minority that think the uploader made up the clip, but that's a conversation for another day. Either way, what do you think? If you've got a sweet tooth, then this next one might interest you. Would you believe me if I told you the ice cream on your screens right now isn't actually real? It's mostly made up of plastic, and it's the work of Eleonora Ortolani, a designer from Central St. Martin's, who created what looks like a real vanilla ice cream except it's made from plastic waste. Teaming up with a biotechnologist, Dr. Joanna Sadler, Ortolani transformed PFT plastic, the kind found in water bottles, into vanillin, the molecule that gives vanilla its signature flavor. The result? A scoop of guilty flavors, ice cream made from plastic. It's not for eating, of course. The project is a bold art science statement about sustainability, consumerism, and the strange reality of our dependence on plastic. But her work has also sparked a wave of online conspiracies. Some have linked it to real-life food controversies, like claims that Walmart's Great Value ice cream doesn't melt properly, suggesting it's more synthetic than dairy. While those rumors remain unproven, they do raise a chilling question that Ortolani's project forces us to confront. In a world drowning in waste and artificial substitutes, how real is the food we're eating? Moving on from the strange ice cream, we move on to Australia, where if you haven't figured it out already, we've captured a strange creature. Now, take a good look and tell me what you think that is, Cobber. It's hard, isn't it? Its form looks so familiar, and yet it doesn't at the same time. We have what looks like elongated arms with very dark and alien-like eyes. The body also appears slender and smallish. There's definitely no natural occurring creature out there that looks like this. This has led to the conclusion that this is most likely some form of cryptid that has managed to stay hidden. Now, the big question is, what kind of cryptid is it? This is a question no one has answers to. As many in the community try to decode what this might be, others have verbally and explicitly stated that the whole thing was digitally created to fool the unsuspecting. Personally, I've been suspecting, but still can't tell if it's the low-quality footage that makes me suspicious or the object in the clip. But I know I say this a lot, but I really value your opinion on this matter. Next, we got this clip recorded by a young lady. Why was she recording? Well, she noticed something odd in the sky and was confused. Once she started recording, though, the creature, which was basically in the sky above her head, moved at hyperspeeds. Take a second look. If this is legit, then there's a whole lot to unpack here. First, it could mean that there are other beings out there who only fly at nighttime. Secondly, are we dealing with extraterrestrials, or is this simply an ordinary human with the ability to fly? Sounds silly, I know, but, well, just think about it. The only way this ceases to be a concern is if the whole clip was made up. A number of people in the community believe that's the case, but hey, there's also a slim chance that this is legit. And you've seen the clip, so what's your take?
What is that? Did you see that?
If you ever saw an evil spirit in your home, what would be your first response? Some of us might choose to pray or vacate the premises, but the individual filming this clip got so scared that he ran and hid. When I first watched the video, I didn't see this alleged evil spirit, but during my second watch, I saw it. There's this pale figure standing by one of the trees outside, staring into his home. When he hides, he mentions that the killer is real and outside his home. Hearing that confession made me think the young lad may be familiar with this spirit. Perhaps it has been stalking him and people he knows, like his friends. Aaron felt that might be the situation, but Julius also mentioned that it could be his friends pranking him. He mentioned that someone could have created the persona of a paranormal being, spread rumors, and then started visiting homes to scare all who have heard about it. Bizarre, I know, but I have been young once, and I know that these things were a normal part of our youth. It doesn't mean it's the same here, but it could be. Anyway, what's your verdict? Ghost or a crazy youth in a realistic costume?
Maybe it's time to call Mystery Inc.
Merlin! Come. Shh. He's outside for real. What the f***? Jeff, the killer is real! He's at my house!
This is not a racist post, alright? I felt I had to put this disclaimer out there. Someone tagged us in this post, and I felt it was interesting enough to add. The subject of the discussion was humans having their original DNA mixed with that of aliens. Some in the paranormal community believe that aliens have visited this planet so often that they may have either reproduced with humans or experimented with them. The discussion has been ongoing for a while and took a heated turn when someone shared this clip. The individual believed that the guy on your screen currently was blessed with a lot more alien DNA than most humans. The reason for this assertion was his height and facial features. He believed these features were a result of the young man having more dominant alien features. Some agreed with him, and others called him racist. I'd rather not give my opinion on this one and ask what your thoughts are. So what are your thoughts? Maybe we're not racist. Maybe we're alienist.
Baby, I miss you. I want you to come. To come and do. Yes.
Next, we got this clip from Myanmar that may just shock you. At least, I hope it does. What do you think that is? And yes, it's submerged in water. It allegedly only came up after an earthquake had rocked the area. Many who saw this believed it was a mermaid, and looking at the clip I can see why they think that since it's humanoid, but is it really a mermaid? Well, there are many theories. Some in the community think there's a possibility it's an underwater statue that could have found its way to the top after the earthquake. Not everyone supported the idea, though. A few individuals felt it was most likely a mannequin, and for some odd reason, many went with this option. Others were quick to add that even if it weren't a mannequin, it could be ordinary fish. They attributed the humanoid look to the reflection in the water. This is one of those odd posts where the comments section unanimously refused to believe it was a supernatural being. You've seen the clip. Do you know or understand why that's the case? So, how do you explain this? Just in case you didn't catch it, allow me to point it out. To the right side of the footage on your screen, there's a guy about to smoke. The moment he lights up the cigar and starts smoking, he disappears. It's almost as though he was glitched out of existence. Many who saw the clip stated that he was in the wrong timeline. Others felt a glitch was happening right on national television, and personally, I felt that was the case, or he was simply edited out. But how'd you edit someone out of live footage? Well, that's not possible, right? So I just scrapped off that idea until I came across a comment in the original post that stated that an AI is being used. The AI detected the individual smoking and took him out to keep the footage safe for the family. I'm not sure if he's just trolling or knows what he's saying, but if this is indeed true, then it's great technology. If it's not, then, well, we're most likely looking at a glitch. But what's your take on it? If someone told me that I would be talking about sharks falling from the sky today, well, I would have laughed and asked where the cameras were. Yet somehow, here I am diving into a story that sounds more like a sci-fi movie plot than real life. A bit of a Sharknado thing going on. According to witnesses, what began as a normal sunny day on the Myrtle Beach disc golf course quickly turned into something surreal. A peaceful game under the ocean breeze was suddenly interrupted when a baby hammerhead shark plummeted from the sky, landing on the fairway with a wet thud and stunning a group of players mid-throw. One of them reportedly said it looked like the shark came out of nowhere, still gripping that disc in disbelief. The players approached cautiously, noting that the small, smooth-bodied shark looked entirely out of place on the grass. News of the bizarre event spread quickly, with videos and photographs making the rounds online. Early explanations pointed to an osprey possibly dropping the shark mid-flight, perhaps startled by dive-bombing crows, but not everyone was convinced. Locals raised questions about the odd absence of birds that day and how the shark's fall seemed too precise, almost intentional. To make things stranger, the same species of shark was reportedly washed ashore dead just days before in the same area. Whether the result of a freak natural mishap or something far stranger, Myrtle Beach found itself at the center of a mystery that seemed to have come straight from the sky, and possibly something deeper beneath. We've spoken about sleep paralysis, demons, and whatnot. What do you think about this guy, though? Not sure if you can see it, but there's a small creature or being moving on the sheets. When it gets to the individual sleeping, it just sort of lies there with them. The person who recorded this stated she had been experiencing strange things at night, which included things moving by themselves, as well as weird, unexplainable sounds. To deal with this, he set up a camera to catch the culprit. He didn't expect to capture a small, almost weightless creature sleeping with him. The creature was nicknamed the Night Leaper. But what do you make of it? If you've been exploring social media this year, then there's a possibility that you've seen the clips of this fish. It usually appears dry and dead, then somehow springs back to life. But how? Experts have explained that this creature is the African lungfish, named for its remarkable ability to breathe not only through its gills but also with a single lung. Scientists noted that the lungfish is exceptionally adapted to survive long periods of drought. During such dry spells, it creates a sort of protective cocoon around itself, leaving only a tiny hole through which it can breathe air. In this state, it essentially resembles a dried-up piece of jerky, but once water returns, the fish quickly rehydrates and springs back to life, almost as if it's resurrected. Praise be to God. Some researchers and commenters even mused on the futuristic possibilities this ability suggests. They wondered if it would mean if humans could do the same, enter a state of suspended animation for long-term space travel, or even just to sleep through decades. Sounds impossible, but bear in mind that most of our technology and innovations came from studying Mother Nature. Perhaps studying this guy is the answer to suspended animation for space travel. This clip was allegedly captured in an area between China and India. The area is guarded by the military and only these research scientists were allowed there. While on their expedition, they captured the clip you see on your screen. The area they were allegedly exploring is a paranormal hotspot, making it no surprise that they captured this. Now, the big question is, what exactly is this thing? No one really knows. It appears to be a mix of known paranormal beings. Personally, I do not know any mythological being that has this exact form, but if any of you do, please let us know in the comments section. Not everyone believes the narrative, though. Some say the whole story is cooked up and that there's no way the military would have allowed this to go out if it was real. Either way, what are your thoughts? Do you see the kid standing by the hospital bed? Would you believe me if I told you only the ones watching the CCTV camera can see him? All those in the ward can't actually see him. That's the reason no one interacts with him. Once this clip was uploaded online, many were shocked. Some even argued it had to be a ghost, but it turns out it's not. According to the one who uploaded the clip, it's actually the same boy that's being attended to. Simply put, he was having an out-of-body experience and it was somehow captured on camera. Did he survive? Well, that's the next big question I know you want to ask. Unfortunately, we don't know. We didn't get any more information. The mere fact that they described him as having an out-of-body experience and not being a ghost gives me some hope that he did survive. But then again, that's just me. What do you guys think? If I had $1 for every time a Tesla car picked up invisible people, I'd most likely be a millionaire by now. The clip on your screen is actually no different. In it, we see a woman parked by a cemetery only for her car to warn her that there is something nearby. The funny thing is, the sensor of a car was picking up someone, yet there was no one out there. I know what some of you'll say, a faulty sensor. I don't deny that these sensors can get faulty.
So why does this always happen around cemeteries? I mean, I get the idea of it being a faulty sensor, but always around cemeteries?
It's a cemetery right in front of us, right? Y'all don't see nobody, but look. Look at it. That's crazy. So I'm going to park the car, right? And then I'm going to drop and watch the person come back up. Y'all see him? But ain't nobody in front of us.
So one of our interns brought us this image and asked if we thought it was real. If you haven't noticed it already, there's something going on with Lana Del Rey's foot. Some in the community argued that it could be a side effect of a vegan lifestyle. Others felt the image had been doctored with Photoshop or enhanced using AI. For some reason, there were some who believed her feet were actually like this and that she might have uploaded the picture accidentally without noticing she hadn't edited her foot. I won't pretend to know what's going on here. Maybe, just maybe, you guys might have an idea of what is going on. If you do, please let us know in the comments section. I'm genuinely curious. A man was working at an abandoned house, and he was the only person on the property that day. It was broad daylight, but even so, he couldn't shake this uneasy feeling. Then these strange shuffling sounds, almost like something dragging or scraping against the ground. You can hear it behind the camera as he records. The sound was close. So gathering courage, he heads toward the source of the sound, which is in the basement. He slowly walks down the steps, and when he finally gets down there, the basement seems empty except for the sound. As he pans the camera around the room, he catches it in the corner, a dark figure. It moves for just a second before disappearing into the shadows. The man was so spooked, he immediately ran out of there. Because of how fast it all happened, we don't get a clear look at exactly what it was. But there was definitely something down there.
Estoy trabajando en esta casa, ya se fueron todos. Lo raro que sigo escuchando ruidos en la parte de abajo. Me da un poco de miedo porque estas casas, Dios mío. Me siento un poco de miedo, pero siento algo de miedo porque el ruido se escucha en la parte de abajo. Pero al parecer no se mira nada. ¡La gran puta!
The Skinwalker lore has been going on for decades, and every once in a while, we get footage of the said creature. We have recent footage in an incident from Mexico. A group of friends went camping in the woods, but at the site they had this strange feeling that someone was following them. Throughout the night in their tents, they were all restless. The next morning, they woke up to find tracks that weren't there before, and some of their items were missing. In order to find the perpetrator, they sent a drone to survey the place. They found someone moving ahead, so the group set out to track this person and retrieve their items, but at some point the person stopped moving. The drone was initially on night vision, so they switched it to regular mode and zoomed in to get a better look at this intruder, and that's when they were all shocked by what they saw. What was standing there was not a person, it was a deer. It just didn't make sense unless it was a skinwalker. What do you think? There are still some people who don't believe in ghosts at all. I mean, there's so much evidence that they could be real, and for some reason, others just can't bring themselves to accept that fact. Take a look at these multiple pieces of evidence that ghosts could be real. Images of people who took pictures only for the image to come out with a humanoid figure standing behind or beside them. It's very creepy. The first one is a man in a room, and behind him you see the outline of a whitish figure half visible, and it clearly looks human. The next image was taken beside a hospital bed. And don't even get me started on hospitals and ghosts. And look at this one too. An empty room with almost transparent humanoid in the center of the room. There are just a lot of them. I know that these days with technology people can doctor these images, but not all of them can be fake. So what do you think about the ghost craze? You know, technology was supposed to make life easier, but lately it's starting to feel evasive, especially when it comes to law enforcement. This is why a man recently shared a pretty unsettling experience.
Warrant. It's time you get the warrant. Do you have a warrant?
Alright, this one is just plain terrifying. You always hear about strange things happening in haunted houses, but this takes it to another level. So this woman was in her child's nursery. Everything seemed calm. I believe she'd just put her baby to sleep, but out of nowhere, something invisible grabs her by the legs, and before she can react, drags her out of the room. There's a second security camera set up in another room. On that footage, you can see her being dragged down not one but 2 flights of stairs. She's pulled right down to the lower floor like it's nothing. The whole thing is absolutely chilling to watch. We always hear about spirits or entities that just like to make noise and move objects around, but whatever was in that house was not just playing games. It was aggressive and it was dangerous. The ocean is full of strange creatures we still know almost nothing about, and now and then something gets discovered that reminds us just how little we truly understand it. A group of ocean researchers were out exploring the southern seas when they stumbled upon this, a sea creature with a wild alien-like appearance. It had around 20 long twisting arms, like some living underwater plant or feathered machine. This thing is called the Antarctic Strawberry Feathered Star. And yeah, the name sounds a bit cute, but trust me, seeing it in motion is anything but. Creatures like this are part of a group called crinoids, which are ancient relatives of sea stars. Some have existed for hundreds of millions of years, surviving multiple mass extinctions, and this particular species lives in some of the coldest, deepest parts of the Southern Ocean, where humans rarely ever go. It's discoveries like these that make you realize that even after all our technology and research, the ocean still holds new creatures, so who knows what else is there. Take a good look at this footage. There's this tall structure, and that's not what's catching people's attention. Up in the sky, just above the structure, there's this dark, circular outline. You can make out its round shape, but it's almost like it's blending in with the sky. What's strange is how it moves. It's not floating like a balloon or drifting like a cloud. This thing is moving fast. Now, a lot of people are saying the same thing, a cloaked UFO, and honestly, it's hard to argue. There's no official explanation, and as always, the mystery just gives room for more speculation. So is this some advanced human tech, or not from here at all? This photograph was taken back in the 1990s at a linen mill in Northern Ireland. It's just a simple black and white group picture, a bunch of women standing together, arms folded and resting calmly. Nothing out of the ordinary at first glance. But look at the red circle. There's a hand resting on the shoulder of one of the women, and it doesn't seem to belong to anyone in the group. Every visible person has both of their hands accounted for. No one is standing behind her, no one is leaning in from the side. This hand just seems to appear out of nowhere. It looks like a thing from the Addams family, but some believe it could be something paranormal, maybe the spirit of someone connected to that old mill. But there's another interesting angle people brought up. Before we had digital tools like Photoshop to easily edit or remove people from photographs, there were already ways of erasing people from images. Historical figures like Joseph Stalin were notorious for having people scrubbed from photographs and official records as if they never existed. Could something like this had already been done here? In the end, we're left with nothing but a strange old photo, a mysterious hand, and a lot of unanswered questions. So what do you think? Lately, a strange phenomenon has been gaining attention. People have been recalling a place called Doveland, Wisconsin. They swear it existed. Some even claim to have visited it back in the 1980s and 90s. They describe it like any other small American town, nothing out of the ordinary. But if you search for Doveland today, you won't find it on any map. There are no records or documentation. As far as official sources are concerned, Doveland never existed. And yet, some people have souvenirs, t-shirts, postcards, and even keychains with the name Doveland, Wisconsin printed on it. But when you try to trace where those items came from, the trail goes cold. Now, many are starting to believe this could be another example of the Mandela effect, where a large group of people share the same false memory. But what if it's not just faulty memory? What if Doveland did exist and somehow it was erased? It's unsettling to think about. So is it just a collective misremembering or a glitch? Now and then, something strange slips into ordinary life. It's mostly unnoticed by the people around, but caught on camera. During a regular tennis match, the cameras captured something. As the game went on, with players focused in the crowd watching, a small, transparent figure appeared right in the middle of the court. The figure looked short, about the height of a child, or maybe even smaller, almost like a faint silhouette. It calmly walked across the court, completely unnoticed by the players, referees, or anyone in the audience. Nobody reacted to it at all, but the camera picked it up clearly. You can actually see it drifting across. People who've watched the footage are puzzled. Some think it could just be a trick of the light, but others are not so sure. The way it moves doesn't quite match with camera errors or reflections. Others also argue that this is an alien, a cloaked alien. What do you think? Sometimes it's not just your imagination playing tricks on you when you feel like you're being followed. And for one woman, that gut reaction turned out to be very real. She had stepped out one night to run a quick errand, but as she was walking back home, she started to feel that unsettling sense that someone was behind her. You know, that heavy feeling like eyes are fixed on you, even if you can't see anyone there. Every time she glanced over her shoulder, there was nothing, just empty streets, but her instincts were screaming that something wasn't right. So she hurried home. Once she got inside, she decided to check the feed from a security camera mounted in front of her house, and there it was. A tall figure was across the front yard. The thing was unnaturally tall and had an eerie appearance. Some have described it as looking like a woman wearing a long dress, and it wasn't there when she looked back earlier, yet the camera caught it. But a lot of people are confused about what it could be, whether it followed her from her errand or if it was in the house before her. Take a good look at this video, because a man on a paraglider lands right on what he claims are clouds, not just hovering through the mist. No, he's literally walking on them. You can see that this odd contraption is strapped to his back like a fan as he casually strolls along what looks like a solid fluffy surface in the sky, and by the way, that fan is called a paramotor. And for a moment, I was completely fooled. It just looks so real. I mean, can we even walk on clouds like that? Well, of course not. Clouds are just water vapor. There's nothing solid to stand on. But this footage makes you second guess, and that's because it's AI generated. That's the world we're in, folks. AI has gotten so advanced that with just a bit of clever prompting, people are creating realistic videos. Today it might take a few seconds to realize something's off, but soon we might not even be able to tell it at all. Not many people believe the big guy's out there, but take a look at these clips. He's in all of them. The funny thing about these clips is that the big guy is so hidden that if you weren't specifically looking for anything out of the ordinary, well, you just wouldn't spot him. This has led many who saw these clips to believe that the Bigfoot was planted in them. Not all agree, though. To some, this proves the big guy and his species are actually masters of disguise with a crazy ability to blend in. Take a second look at the clips again and share your opinion. By now, you've probably seen at least one of these videos floating around the internet, and they're honestly a bit unsettling. People are wearing these insanely realistic, hyper-realistic masks. At first, you'd think they were real people. The detail is shocking, and they even manage to pull off subtle facial expressions with wrinkles and some fine lines that move as they do. And that's where things start to feel a bit off. With technology like this, it's easy to see how people in power, celebrities, politicians, and even criminals could use these masks to hide in plain sight or manipulate situations. If someone can fool you into believing they're somebody else entirely, well, it opens the door for all kinds of deception.
With this level of disguise out there, how many times have we seen somebody that we actually haven't seen?
So, someone was out fishing when they pulled up this creature, and I have to warn you, it's pretty disturbing. It was a fairly large fish, but almost its entire face was gone. What was left was just a small portion of its head, and one single eye still blinking, and it's still alive. Honestly, you wouldn't even know what species of fish this belonged to. That's how badly its face was mangled, but somehow it's still alive and moving, which is both fascinating and uncomfortable to watch. Now, there are a couple of theories as to why. This could be the result of a mutation caused by environmental factors, but most likely it could be an injury from a predator or even an encounter with fishing gear. As freaky as it looks, many fish have this insane ability to survive even after losing large portions of their bodies, as long as their vital organs aren't affected. So this is no zombie or alien, just a disfigured fish. Now I know what you're thinking, but no, that's not King Ghidorah from the Monsterverse. If Ghidorah existed, the only way we'd make it out alive is if we had Godzilla or King Kong coming to our rescue, and clearly that's not an option. So what are we looking at then? Aaron believes it's a fake. Well, now if Aaron, the man who believes any animal could be a skinwalker, calls something as cool as this fake, then you should definitely believe him. Someone could possibly have edited lightning footage and made it look more ominous than it really is. Either that or we're in serious trouble. Having seen the footage yourself, what do you think? Now get ready for an eerie sight as we dive into footage from a Texas park dating back to 2015. But beware, what may initially resemble dropping servings of spaghetti will turn out to be a cluster of earthworms intricately woven together in a rather unsettling formation. This strange and repulsive display prompts immediate questions about the cause behind such peculiar behavior in earthworms. Worms are typically known for their underground activities, crucial for maintaining soil health. Witnessing them suddenly emerge en masse, especially in this bizarre entanglement, is not a common occurrence. Some who saw it believe that a storm caused the worms to come up from the ground, after which they were washed up to the road. Given that the center of the road had the least amount of water, they remained there till the water began to recede and drain. It's at this moment they may have formed the balls we see, which is actually something they're known to do to stay alive. These are all speculations, of course, but having seen it yourself, what do you think this is? A communal effort to stay alive? A display of unusual mating behavior? Or are the worms plotting something ominous? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Back in 2014, Dennis Coleman was out in the woods when he decided to take a picture of what he thought was a tree branch using his trusty Motorola flip phone. However, right after taking the picture, he heard a strange, loud noise on his right side, which made him turn around. When he got home, he decided to take a closer look at the image he had taken and noticed that there was indeed something in the tree that he had captured. Thanks to modern tools today, he decided to upscale the image and use manual editing to adjust the contrast and balance, which resulted in the image we see today. According to Dennis, the image shows something that was not a tree branch. He believes that he might have captured an image of a Bigfoot. When the image was shared, some claimed that it was indeed a Bigfoot, while many others remained skeptical about the whole thing. Some even told him it was nothing more than a monkey. Dennis disagrees, and we can see why. Looking at the image, what do you think of it? Do you believe that Dennis might have captured an image of a Bigfoot, or is it just a monkey? Now, let's take a look at something more supernatural. This is an alleged image of Jesus Christ, the most popular and important figure in the Christian religion. In the footage, the image shows the picture of Jesus with his eyes closed, but after a while, the image opens its eyes and you will see tears coming from it when you look closely. There were some who thought this was demonic and evil. Their interpretation is rooted in a belief in the supernatural and the presence of forces beyond our comprehension. Many, however, brushed it off as a trick of the light, an optical illusion, if you may. After a second and third look, well, I'm tempted to believe this is the case. What do you guys think? Now, that's what you call an uninvited guest. Imagine hearing knocks and scratches at your door only to open up to see a white lion there. The thought is a scary one because there's no way you're escaping a lion that close up. After carefully reviewing the footage, Jack, my new assistant, thinks that this lion may be domesticated and may have actually been trying to get into its master's quarters. Personally, I believe that's the only logical explanation here. How would you explain the lion trying to turn a doorknob? In the streets of Italy, a mesmerizing anomaly unfolds, captivating both onlookers and scientists in equal measure as captured in footage that evokes a sense of wonder. Raindrops descend upon a small section of the road, leaving the surrounding area untouched and dry. Everyone passing by is both mesmerized and stunned, yet no one can explain what was happening. Scientists, ever eager to provide explanations, term this intriguing occurrence as localized rain. Localized rain occurs when specific conditions create a microenvironment conducive to precipitation in a confined space. Despite the rational explanation, the human tendency to seek meaning beyond the ordinary makes some wonder whether there might be something more to this meteorological display than meets the eye. A family recently bought a new home by a river. Soon after moving in, they began hearing eerie cries of a woman in the night. Each time they went to investigate, they found no one around. Curious and concerned, they decided to check the security camera located near the source of the noise. What they discovered was chilling. In the dead of night, the camera captured a ghostly figure in a robe walking toward the river. The spectral figure moved silently through the shadows, its form barely visible in the dim light. This haunting sight reminded the family of the legend of La Llorona, the weeping woman known in folklore for her sorrowful cries as she searches for lost children near bodies of water. Could this be the ghost of La Llorona, or perhaps another restless spirit haunting their new home? I guess we'll never know. A woman entered a room in her home and then saw a pair of clawed fingers and an oddly shaped head peeking over the shower curtain. Stunned and most definitely scared, she quickly pulled down the curtain to see what it was, but the creature was long gone. From the short glimpse we had of the creature, we can tell that it was very dark, making it hard to identify. It definitely does not look like something you would see in a biology textbook. It had an eerie, otherworldly quality that has left many people puzzled. So far, our paranormal enthusiasts haven't had much luck with identifying this mysterious creature and explaining how it managed to vanish in a thin air. This has left my team and me wondering if it could be a ghost, a cryptid, or something else entirely. It's hard to say, but you guys also saw the clip, so what do you think? In yet another account of the alleged ball of lightning, a man and his daughters witnessed the glowing orb materializing in the sky above a mountain and descending slowly.
Vendo de novo, Beto, olha lá. Ela vai passar por nós aqui.
Despite it being daytime, the luminosity of the orb was unmistakable, and even their dog seemed intrigued, barking at the ethereal presence. The accounts of ball lightning often involve sightings during thunderstorms or in the vicinity of electrical activity. Despite being considered a natural phenomenon by some in the scientific community, its rarity and unpredictability have led to speculation and sometimes sensational interpretations, including claims of extraterrestrial or paranormal origins. While scientists have proposed various hypotheses to explain ball lightning, it remains one of the least understood natural phenomena. I won't pretend to fully understand them, but if any of you watching does, please explain in the comments section. Aaron and I will be reading the comments. Just a quick reminder before the next clip comes, if you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed, could you do so right now? You wouldn't want me to send a Bigfoot after you now, would you?
Mire, eso es una cosa, un fenómeno.
In the dusky evening sky over Colombia, around 7 p.m., a family found themselves amid an unexplicable phenomenon.
Ya han caído uno, allá hay otro aquí.
Allá va otro, allá va otro, allá va otro, allá abajo. Y de la calle se tiene que ver mejor.
Vea que está corriendo, no mire la calle.
A camera captured a mesmerizing sight, a luminous ball of light descending gracefully toward the earth. With the moon ruled out and the sun long set, the nature of this celestial display became a subject of speculation. Various theories emerged to account for this mysterious occurrence. Some have proposed the idea of a ball of lightning, a natural but rare atmospheric phenomenon. Others, fueled by a sense of wonder and curiosity, entertain the possibility of something more otherworldly in origin, something alien. Having seen it yourself, what do you think might be the source of this luminous ball of light? Have you ever come across someone whose eyes appear to have water and sand in the retina? No? Watch this. It looks like the individual's eyes contain a whole new world, doesn't it? A part of me wanted to think this was probably fake. My team and I did a little combing through the internet and discovered this could be due to a rare eye condition called haliosis asteroids. It's a condition characterized by the presence of small, white or yellowish star-shaped formations in the vitreous humor, which is a gel-like substance that fills the back of the eye between the lens and the retina. These formations are known as asteroid bodies and can give the impression of water and sand in the retina, leading to a striking visual effect. Haliosis asteroids is a relatively uncommon condition that usually develops in people over 50 years of age. I know what you're thinking. Does it mean that they're blind? Well, the answer is no. In fact, most people with this condition are unaware of it unless they undergo a routine eye exam or have a close examination of their eyes. Take a look at this response from a post discussing the same condition. The exact cause of haliosis asteroids is unknown, but it's believed to be related to the aging process and the accumulation of certain proteins in the vitreous humor. While there's no specific treatment for haliosis asteroids, it's not a cause for concern as it does not affect vision or require any medical attention. What do you guys think of the condition, though? Now, this is like a death trap. Did I say like? This elevator door just came off while the elevator was moving. You can see that there is movement behind the doors, but it does seem like that is the elevator room. It's not often that you see this happen with an elevated door, and if this can happen, then anyone who uses the elevator certainly isn't safe. We don't have much context to the footage, but we can only hope that there were no casualties. If this clip did anything, it reaffirmed my phobia of elevators. Beneath the veil of the night sky, a curious observer captures an enigmatic scene, an array of strange lights hidden behind the clouds. As the lights blink and change color, it looks like some sort of party out there beyond the sky.
Já faz mais de minuto que tá assim, cara. Nunca vi nada. É pra lá só.
Honestly, I like to think that somewhere out there in the cosmos, a celestial DJ is spinning tunes while extraterrestrial beings do the moonwalk on a space dance floor. But hey, I'm not ruling out the possibility of the universe throwing a grand finale party either. It's been around for quite a few aeons after all. But on a serious note, what could they mean? As fun as they look, they could be signs, maybe nature's way of telling us something. But what could that be? Back in 2011 in Russia, a local farmer was woken up in the middle of the night by an intensive earthquake. As he woke up, he realized that the quake was not what he thought it was. It was an explosion. So the farmer set out to investigate, only to retrieve this. Burnt remains of a strange creature. The head looked almost human, but its lower jaw was much bigger than a human's. The creature, smaller than the average adult human, exhibited limbs resembling those of an animal rather than a human. This spectacle was found in a maize farm, so the burned body was attached to corn husks and some maize. Now the question is, what is this? The locals said it could be an ancient witch that lives in the woods and eats children, but some scientists suspect it to be something else. With how the permafrost in Russia is melting, they believe that this could be one of the extinct creatures that might have escaped. As for the cause of the explosion, it remains a mystery to this day. This next one has gone viral in recent times. It features a very peculiar object that was spotted in the night sky. The object in question is triangular and has 3 round lights, one at each point. No one who's seen this clip can state with certainty what it is. Many speculations are flying around though. Interestingly, a majority of commenters speculated that the object could be a TR-3B. For those unfamiliar with it, TR-3B is a highly secretive aircraft often mentioned in conspiracy theories and UFO lore. According to these theories, the TR-3B is a triangular-shaped craft that's equipped with advanced propulsion and stealth capabilities and is supposedly developed by the United States government's black budget programs. However, there's no concrete evidence to support the existence of the TR-3B. What are your thoughts on this mysterious object in the sky? Do you believe that the TR-3B could be a real top-secret aircraft, or is it just another urban legend? Right when you think you have seen it all. A group of individuals stumbled upon a strange and unsettling creature while exploring a secluded area. The creature was lying on the ground, motionless, with its face and flesh resembling that of a pig. However, upon closer inspection, it became apparent that its lower half was shaped like that of a fish. The creature's mouth was agape, with its tongue sticking out and its sharp teeth on full display. What made this discovery even more disturbing was the fact that the creature bore the unmistakable stamp of a meat factory. Scientists and food factories may be experimenting with and creating meat from these mutated creatures for human consumption. The thought of such a practice is truly horrifying. What do you think about this discovery? Do you believe that we should be more cautious about the food that we consume? Moving on, let's take a look at something that's been confirmed to be authentic. At first glance, this looks like an ordinary clip of a family out to camp, but pay attention to the left side of the frame. Did you catch it? A ghostly figure moves from behind the boy using his palms to block the camera. It appears to be moving on all fours and has this whitish, translucent, or ghostly look to it. We've tried to compare it to other cryptids and otherworldlies that we know, but nothing comes up. This has us wondering what the family of this family is, and who exactly took the clip. They didn't notice while they were there though, they only noticed when going over the clips. Like I love to say, we've seen the clip, so what are your thoughts on this? I cannot stress enough just how unreliable and concerning our food supplies have become. This footage is a perfect example of why we should all be paying attention. Just take a look. Someone is literally painting apples red. Yes, painting them. How is this even remotely healthy? Think about it. If we're resorting to painting our fruit to make it look fresh or appealing, what does that say about the state of our food industry? We've taken things too far. We cannot just grow apples anymore, naturally without having to alter them. It makes you wonder how much of what we see in stores is even real or if it's all just manufactured to look perfect. It's becoming harder and harder to trust what we eat. Are you familiar with the term petrification? I'm not talking about the feeling of being terrified. What I'm referring to is when organic matter turns into stone after being exposed to minerals for a long period. Now, why did I ask this? Well, take a look at this footage. Someone found this cave on the side of a mountain, and looking out from the cave is a giant head made of stone. This could just be a carving, but the location of this carving is not exactly a prime spot to exhibit your art, and that's where the theory of petrification comes in. There are a lot of mountains and stone structures all over the world with faces on them. There are some who believe that these faces could have belonged to giants who once roamed the earth. Now, I know it sounds like a stretch, but we have found other stone structures around the world that were also abnormally large bodies that could not be explained. The logical thing would be to say that earlier civilizations built them, but here's the thing. Those civilizations couldn't have had the technology to build these large structures, so unless they were magical beings that came to help them put the structures together, there's a strong possibility that we could be dealing with giants here. What do you think? Now, what is that right there? A small, strange creature was captured on video in someone's home. It looked like a tiny humanoid with a big belly and an ugly appearance. The moment it realized it had been spotted, the creature started to run away, or more accurately, it wobbled away quickly. This peculiar creature was unlike anything seen before. Its small stature and unusual features made it both fascinating and frightening. It had a grotesque, almost otherworldly look with a big belly that swayed as it moved. The sight of it wobbling away is almost comical, yet eerie at the same time. The big question now is, what is that? Aaron thinks it's a demon, and as usual, our science whiz Julius thinks it's CGI. Who are you siding with? Can you spot what's odd in this image? Take a close look. If you guessed Bigfoot, you're absolutely right. On the right side of the image, you can see a massive creature towering over the trees around it. The beast looks to be at least 8 feet tall or more, dwarfing everything in its path. Just take a look at its head. It's distinctly domed, and you can clearly make out its massive arms hanging by its side. What's even more striking is the clarity of the image. This might just be one of the clearest sightings of Bigfoot ever recorded. What do you think? Human face masks have been making rounds lately, with people noticing individuals whose facial features seem unnervingly artificial, almost like they're wearing a mask. It's eerie, as though someone is hiding beneath, concealed from the naked eyes. You see these faces that don't quite move naturally, eyes that lack depth, skin that seems too smooth or stiff. But what or who could be lurking beneath these masks? Some people speculate these could be interdimensional beings slipping into our world and trying to blend in without raising suspicion. Others throw out theories about reptilians, the famous conspiracy suggesting that shape-shifting creatures walk among us. Could these masks be part of their disguise, a way to interact with humans while keeping their true form hidden? Or maybe these masks belong to regular humans with sinister motives, aiming to deceive us for some unknown reason. With technology so advanced, could this also be a new type of hyper-realistic disguise designed to make us question what's real and what's not? It's unsettling to think about. What's truly behind these faces? Is it someone or something trying to get closer to us without being noticed? When you go for an open house tour, the last thing you expect is to enter the house of a murderer. But that is what a Reddit user believes happened.
Wow, that is
I noticed that too.
I don't know what this is, but there's a big bag in there.
He had gone to an open house tour in California. As they were exploring the house, he noticed a strange-looking compartment in the ground resembling a trapdoor. Curiosity piqued, he went closer to take a better look. Inside, he saw a huge bin bag submerged in brownish water. The sight was unsettling and seemed out of place in the otherwise normal-looking house. The situation took a darker turn when the woman in charge of the tour saw them snooping around. She quickly and sternly kicked them out of the house. This abrupt reaction raised even more suspicion. Why would she react so strongly if there was nothing to hide? It's hard to ignore the chilling implications. Could there have been something sinister in that bag? Was there a body inside? Given that this was posted on Reddit, I guess we will never know.
There's a big bag in there with water.
We have evidence of an evolution that the government doesn't want you to know about. Take a look.
Oh my gosh!
Yes, you're seeing right. That's a corgi riding a pony. They're both miniature versions of their species, yet somehow the corgi is evolving into a cowboy, or should I say a cow dog. If World War III is being discussed on the news as well as the threat of a new deadly bird flu pandemic, then why isn't anyone talking about this potentially world-ending evolution? Unless, of course, the government and the media are in bed together. The world is ending. But seriously, I'm joking, and don't repeat this anywhere.
Oh my gosh!
Moving on from bird drones likely being used by the government, we move on to extraterrestrials peeping extraterrestrials. And no, I'm not joking. Take a look. This was recorded by a man who felt he was being watched. He moved to his window and his eyes couldn't believe what he was seeing. He took out his camera and recorded and stood there watching with its weirdly shaped head and eyes. Spooked by this, the young lad uploaded it online hoping it was some sort of prank. It turned out that no one around his neighborhood had seen this. The paranormal community picked up on it though and thought it might be an extraterrestrial exploration. While that sounds interesting and a tad convincing, Julius had a lot to say on the matter. He pointed out that the clip was intentionally made blurry to prevent the CGI in the clip from being obvious. He adds that even if there were aliens on our planet, they won't be moving from house to house peeping through windows. They'll have highly advanced technology for that. Sounds convincing, but what do you guys think? Do you agree with him? A woman had gone to a cemetery to pay her respects to a deceased relative. It was a peaceful visit, or so she thought, until something chilling happened. As she walked near one of the walls, her attention was suddenly drawn to something eerie, something she couldn't believe she was seeing. There, In a small hole in the cemetery wall was a face. A pale, haunting face stared directly at her. Its skin was ghostly white, almost blending with the dull stone of the wall, and its expression was disturbingly blank. For a moment, she froze, unable to process what she was seeing. In a place like a cemetery, the last thing anyone expects is to see something or someone peeking through a hole in the wall. Terrified, she quickly realized that this wasn't an ordinary person. The pale complexion, the unnatural stillness, it had to be a ghost. What else could it be in such a place?
A hidden secret of Port Phillip Bay has been revealed during an extraordinary underwater encounter off Mornington.
Animals are fascinating creatures that never cease to amaze us with their intelligence and behavior. They have a unique way of communicating and interacting with us, and we're still trying to understand their world. Take a look at this encounter. A diver had a unique encounter with an octopus while deep in the sea. The octopus approached her and latched on her hand, motioning her to follow it. The diver followed the creature, and according to her, the octopus would swim ahead of her and turn to make sure she was following. The curious and friendly octopus led the diver to what looked like a grave on the seabed. On the grave, there was a picture of a man and his dog, almost as if the octopus was trying to convey a message to her. Naturally, the encounter was a fascinating experience for the diver, who was left in awe of the octopus's intelligence and behavior. Remarkable, don't you think? Next, we've got another fascinating video that shows a line of shrimps seemingly striking a yoga pose, which left me baffled. How do you even teach shrimps this? I started thinking this has to be the work of some sort of animal or shrimp whisperer. I did some digging around, however, and I discovered that the footage was a cleverly planned reverse video. It's embarrassing, I know, but you can't really blame me, can you? We see weird things all the time, and you have to admit it's amazing how such simple editing can create such an intriguing illusion. This disturbing footage was shared online, and it's unlike anything we've seen before. In the video, there is a person sitting on a train, but something is terribly wrong. The figure appears to be headless, its body bent backwards in an unnatural position. As if that wasn't strange enough, a thick, dark liquid is pouring out from where the head should be, slowly spilling onto the floor of the train. The sight is unsettling, to say the least. The liquid looks almost too dark to be blood, giving it an otherworldly, sinister quality. But the question remains, what exactly is happening here? Is this some kind of elaborate hoax or special effect, or is it something much darker, something that can't be explained away so easily? If you were a daredevil with an appetite for paragliding, this next one's for you. This paraglider assumed he was all alone up there and decided to have fun and immortalize his adventure using the gadget known to mortals as camera. As he recorded himself, he noticed that there was something else up there with him. He started to film it, and after filming for a while, it hit him. It was not a machine or small aircraft, it was actually a small being flying through the crowds. Try as much as he did, he couldn't put a finger on what he was dealing with. He uploaded the clip online, which brought different views and opinions. Some thought it was a man with a jetpack, whereas others thought it was a balloon. Another mentioned a Black Knight satellite, but I'm not sure that's it. You've seen the clip, right? So what do you think? What do angels look like? There are various depictions of what these creatures could be. Some say they are light beings, others call them interdimensional, some heavenly, and so many more. Someone looking into the sky using a telescope spotted these in the sky. Strange lights, an entity moving across the sky, and there was this particular one that was a luminous thing that was rotating and changing shape as if floating away. People had a lot to say about this. Some thought it was an angel or some heavenly being, but others called it an atmospheric biological being. First time I've heard of this, and another called it a plasma being. Some also thought it was just debris and that we were seeing things that were not there. Aaron, my in-house intern on all things paranormal, thinks there's something there, but Julius, the scientific intern amongst us, thinks this is nothing more than a sham to mislead believers in the paranormal. What's your take? Still on the wonders of Mother Nature, take a look at this next one. Wondering why this lake is a big deal? Well, maybe because it's not a lake. This is supposed to be the desert of Oman, but somehow it's flooded. I didn't believe the clip when I saw it, so I did some research, and it turns out it's actually true. How does a place go from looking like a desert to looking like this? A team member shared some theories stating that the current pole shifting could be responsible. Another mentioned cloud seeding. In fact, one stated that Oman has a magical pop-up rainforest. For 3 months each year, a very special weather phenomenon happens in Oman that transforms the usually arid desert into a spectacular rainforest. Seemingly, overnight, barren slopes are turned into emerald green hills, lakes and waterfalls sprout forth, and the temperature drops to a cool 68 Fahrenheit, 20 Celsius. That sounds cool, right? My research proves that's not the case, and that's purely speculation. I don't live near the spot, so it's hard to confirm myself. But scientists on the internet wouldn't lie, right? If you live around, please confirm if these things are true or not. Leeches have been used in various medical treatments for hundreds of years, primarily for their ability to improve blood circulation and remove toxins from the body. But what you're about to see in this footage takes this ancient practice to a whole new unsettling level. In this video, a woman has not one but 2 leeches attached directly on each of her eyes. Yes, you heard that right, 1 leech on each pupil. It's as disturbing as it sounds. You can almost feel the discomfort just by watching. The leeches cling to her eyes, moving slightly as they do what leeches are known for, sucking blood. What's truly shocking is the fact that this is happening on one of the most sensitive parts of the human body. Leeches have been historically used to treat conditions by improving blood flow, particularly in reconstructive surgery or to reduce swelling after injury. However, using them on the eyes, well, this raises a lot of questions. Could this be an alternative treatment for some rare condition, or is it simply a bizarre fringe medical practice that goes beyond the ordinary? What do you think? Up until now, I've always thought of biological weapons in terms of viruses and deadly bacteria. This next clip, however, challenges that. This starts off as though a ray of light was moving through the bushes. A few seconds in and you realize that it's not necessarily a ray of light. It's something else entirely. It's almost like a human torch moving through the bushes, and the interesting thing is, the bushes actually catch fire. That's something you don't see every day. Given the fact that we don't necessarily live in a world with mutants and superheroes, I'm tempted to think that the individual here might have been experimented on by the military for military purposes. I know it's a bit of a stretch, but that's the only thing that makes sense right now. Either that or a man's on fire and moving through the bushes, or the clip has been doctored and edited. What does your gut tell you is going on? If you have galleophobia, you might want to skip ahead by a minute. If you don't know what the meaning of the word is, then chances are you don't have it.
My goodness. That is amazing.
Now, if you haven't figured it out already, galleophobia is the extreme fear of sharks. This clip has some of the wildest yet most amazing clips of sharks we've ever come across. I don't think we've featured a shark here before, but I always thought if we ever did feature a shark, it would be the discovery of the MacLeod or its remains. But rest assured, we haven't discovered or found the MacLeod yet. This isn't a bonus clip, but I thought we'd have a test on your knowledge of sharks. How many different species of sharks can you see in the clip, and what are their names? I haven't made this promise before, but maybe, just maybe, if one person is able to name them all, they may receive a bit of classified captures merch from me. Identify as many species as you can from the clip, and you might just be the first and lucky winner of our merch. Good luck.
Alienígena não tem.
Como?
Alienígena.
Alienígena? O que é?
Nunca, essa palavra você nunca ouviu falar? Alienígena.
Alienígena, não.
Some people visited a native tribe in Brazil called the Hunikuin and showed them images of a grey alien. And guess what? These natives knew exactly what this creature was. They called it the Man Kunawabu. According to the natives, these beings were ant people who lived inside the earth. They claimed to have known about the existence of these creatures for thousands of years. To them, these beings are not aliens, but creatures that live on Earth underground. They described these beings as having a unique connection to the Earth, living in vast underground networks. Their stories paint a picture of a hidden world beneath our feet, one that modern science has yet to explore fully. This information is coming from indigenous people who were completely secluded from the modern world, undiluted by contemporary influences. If this is true, then we should definitely be concerned. But how do we confirm its authenticity? Perhaps it's time to send Julius on another one of those trips.
Fica mexendo com ela demais, ela leva o espírito da pessoa para debaixo da terra também.
Speaking of extraterrestrials, what do you think is going on here? In this clip, we see a blue light shooting to the sky from the ground. This is obviously not normal, but that prompted the one who recorded this clip to do so. He shared the clip looking for answers, but you and I have seen the clips like this multiple times. Do you remember any of the explanations we gave to them? If Project Bluebeam was one of the answers that came to mind, give yourself a pat on the back. For those new to the channel, Project Bluebeam is a conspiracy theory that claims NASA and the United Nations are working together to implement a new world order by staging a fake alien invasion or a false religious awakening. It was proposed by Canadian journalist Serge Monast in the 1990s. The theory suggests that advanced holographic technology would be used to simulate the Second Coming or other significant religious events, manipulating the masses into accepting global authoritarian rule. It has been widely debunked, yet continues to circulate due to clips like this. While many think this is Project Bluebeam at play, there are a number of individuals who think this may be aliens at work. You've seen the clip, so what do you think? One stormy night, as lightning and thunder danced across the sky, an observer spotted something truly bizarre. Up in the sky were 4 glowing orbs, 2 on the left and 2 on the right, aligned horizontally. These lights looked strange and out of place. They weren't stars, and their movement was equally odd. As lightning lit up the sky, the orbs blinked and shifted positions, revealing something even more intriguing. It almost appeared as though the lights were attached to some kind of craft hidden behind the clouds. The way they illuminated in sync with the lightning gave the impression of a large, unseen object lurking in the stormy skies, with just these lights peeking through like glowing orbs. But here's the catch. Unlike typical UFO sightings, this craft wasn't round. Its shape was unclear, shrouded in clouds, but the positioning of the lights suggests something unusual. So what could it be? If you've never trusted self-driving cars, then maybe this next clip might prove you right. Take a look.
Okay, I don't know why it did that.
The driver in this vehicle was simply enjoying a leisurely cruise when, without warning, the Tesla suddenly veered off the road. It's not supposed to do that, and it's not designed to do that, especially when there's another car coming from the opposite direction. So what could have happened here? The truth is, we don't really know. Some users of Teslas, although not a lot, have recorded having had such experiences. For a self-driving car, these are defects it can't afford to have. It could result in serious tragedies. This is what the masses had to say in the comments section of the original post. A number of individuals thought the car was simply trying to pass by the car stopping ahead. As logical as that sounds, the car's sensors should still have picked up the solid line in incoming traffic. This made others think there was something more sinister going on, like these users. Now, that sounds funny, but it could just be bugs. I mean, AI hasn't gotten to the point where it can't decide to kill humans, right? Right.
Okay, I don't know why it did that.
A farmer from Poland shared this incredible footage, a scene that looks like it's straight out of Chicken Run 2. As you can see, chickens were storming out of the farm and chasing after a truck. But that's not all. Ostriches were also running alongside them, and they had human-shaped clothes hanging from their necks. The spectacle of chickens and ostriches on the run is amusing enough, but the addition of the clothes on the ostriches makes it look surreal, almost like a scene crafted with CGI. Could this be the real-life antics of farm animals, or is it the product of some clever digital manipulation? The farmer insists it's real, but the scene certainly has an uncanny, almost cinematic quality to it. What do you think?
Okay. Watch, I got my outlet right here. Okay, 183 volts. Okay, now watch this. I'm gonna plug in my phone.
Still on modern things that are dangerous to our health, what you see is a man with a device for measuring radiation. He starts off by measuring his outlet without his phone plugged in, and then connects his phone, then records it.
So I got my phone plugged in. Now watch. This is how much radiation you're getting just from having your phone next to your bed. Wow.
For those who don't understand what's happening, the simplified explanation is that our phones emit radiation that's harmful to us. Leaving it on a charge while sleeping only makes the situation worse. Phone makers are aware of this danger. Apple includes the following guidance in iPhone settings. To limit RF energy exposure, consider using hands-free options like the built-in speaker, provided headphones, or similar accessories. Keep your iPhone away from your body to maintain exposure at tested levels. Cases containing metal parts may alter RF performance and affect compliance with exposure guidelines. While that sounds like great advice, is it really though? I mean, even if you're only getting the bare minimum of radiation daily, imagine what that will look like after accumulating for a year. 5 years and even 20 to 30 years. That small daily dosage can become something very lethal.
Phone radiation can damage brain cells. Poor cell phone reception. Weak bars, don't use your phone. It can give you 10,000 times more exposure.
I'm not saying this could be the cause of Alzheimer's, cancer, and so many other modern diseases that we have, but who is to say that it's not playing a role? Just think about it.
Watch, I got my outlet right here. Okay, 183 volts. Okay, now watch this. I'm gonna plug in my phone. So I got my phone plugged in. Now watch. This is how much radiation you're getting just from having your phone next to your bed.
This is rapper XXXTentacion, and during an interview he made some very thought-provoking comments. Take a listen.
If you're going to listen to an artist consistently and it's your favorite artist, you most definitely should understand who it is that you're looking into or listening to. There's brainwashing that gets involved in music, in the music industry, like recording things backwards and all these different things that people don't know, frequency channelings and different things like that. So you never know who you're with unless you fully dwell into them as a person.
He spoke about how the music we consume isn't just entertainment, it's a form of brainwashing, filled with subliminal messages that influence us without us even realizing it. Now, XXXTentacion is no longer with us, but many believe there was more to his passing than just a robbery gone wrong. But let's focus on something even deeper, the themes in modern rap music. Have you ever noticed that mainstream rap, especially among young black artists, often revolves around the same topics? Sex, drugs, money, and a glorified gangster lifestyle. It's almost as if there's a formula that keeps getting pushed. But why? Some theorists suggest that this is a deliberate attempt to push young black listeners towards a destructive lifestyle that ultimately leads to crime and incarceration. And who benefits from that? Well, the private prison system. More crime means more prisoners, which means more money for those who run these facilities. And here's where it gets even more suspicious. The major record labels that sign and promote these artists are often owned by wealthy white executives. So is this all just a coincidence, or is there some truth hidden behind the surface?
There's brainwashing that gets involved in music, in the music industry, like recording things backwards and all these different things that people don't know, frequency channelings and different things like that. So you never know who you're with unless you fully dwell into them as a person.
When we think of nuclear and radioactive exposure, the first thing that comes to mind is Chernobyl and the like. We never think that there could be a little boy in our neighborhood building a nuclear reactor and putting us all in danger. That's the exact story of David Hahn, the radioactive Boy Scout. Fascinated by science, Hahn devoured old textbooks and manuals to learn about radioactive materials. As a Boy Scout working on an atomic energy badge, his curiosity spiraled into dangerous experiment. He scavenged radioactive elements from common household items, including americium from smoke detectors, thorium from gas lantern mantles, and radium from antique clocks. With ingenuity and makeshift tools, Hahn set up a laboratory in his backyard shed, attempting to create a functioning breeder reactor that could generate energy. Unfortunately, Hahn's experiment took a hazardous turn. The reactor began emitting increasing levels of radiation. Things could have gotten really bad if he hadn't been stopped by the local police, who detected radioactive material in his car during a routine stop. Fearing he might be building a bomb, the feds were contacted, and this led to the dismantling of Hahn's shed by a hazmat team. Although no explosion occurred, the incident resulted in environmental contamination and highlighted the potential dangers of unregulated amateur experiments. This is a picture of David in his mid-20s with sores all over his body. He paid a hefty price for his experiment, but imagine authorities never discovering his experiment. Just imagine what could have happened to him and his neighborhood. Scary, huh? Well, just in case you were wondering, he ended up serving in the United States Navy and the United States Marine Corps, but died young. Well, on that note, let's dive into another fascinating discovery captured on camera. A group of workers on site managed to capture something truly bizarre. A small patch of cloud appeared to be falling right out of the sky. Yes, a piece of a cloud just descended to the ground. Now, we all know that clouds aren't supposed to fall, they're supposed to stay suspended in the sky. But this moment seems to challenge everything we thought we knew. Just look at how the men rushed to check it out, running over in disbelief to examine what appeared to be a fallen piece of cloud. But here's the real question. Can clouds actually fall, or is there another explanation for this strange phenomenon? Just in case it was not clear enough, that's a dolphin in the pool where a woman's birthing a baby. If you're wondering why, I've got the answers. In Hawaii, there was a practice where women gave birth in the water alongside dolphins. The idea was that the dolphins emitted healing frequencies, creating a calming environment to help the mother have a safe and natural birth. The presence of dolphins was believed to enhance the birthing experience, reducing pain and stress for the mother through these natural vibrations. However, this type of birthing practice was eventually shut down and labeled as unsafe. While the scientific reasons might make sense to many, there are some who don't think it's as unsafe as scientists label it, since it's something that's existed for centuries. According to the man speaking, the dolphins emit frequencies that are therapeutic for the birthing mother and the baby. He even argues that if the sonar and frequencies from the dolphin are unsafe, why then do we use similar technology and scans for the baby throughout the 9 months? I get that both sides have sane arguments, but, well, let's just say this man is right. If these natural methods are beneficial like he says, why aren't they more widely accepted? Instead, we're often directed toward hospitals where medications and pain relief is standard practice. Does Big Pharma have something to do with this, or is he just making a case where there is none? I think we might need your opinion on this one, so please share your thoughts.
Dolphins support humans. There's all studies on this. This goes into the brain of a dolphin. This goes into sonar. This goes into the frequencies, ultrasounds, which they're using on mothers and things like that. They're deriving technology from whales and dolphins.
Do you think the government would intentionally want us sick and unwell? Well, before you answer, you should see this clip.
I want you to see it for yourself. You see that? I'm going to put in one finger. Trisodium phosphate.
So the man in this clip was going over some of the ingredients used in cereal and came across some rather disturbing names. The most disturbing for him was trisodium phosphate. After picking it out, he mentions that no one is going to eat cereal again after seeing what that ingredient is all about. He quickly moves to Home Depot, where we see it being used in strong cleaning chemicals. This naturally got me doing some research, and I discovered that trisodium phosphate, or TSP for short, is added to some cereals as a food-grade additive to regulate acidity, preventing clumping and maintaining texture. The FDA considers it generally recognized as safe or GRAS at the low levels used in food. It helps cereals stay crisp in milk and provides shelf stability, making it a common ingredient in many processed foods. Excessive phosphate intake from multiple processed foods, however, may contribute to kidney strain, weakened bones, and cardiovascular issues, particularly in individuals with kidney disease. So why take something when it's poisonous, and who determines what safe quantities are? And isn't it common sense to not have kids take in poisonous stuff? Well, maybe I'm overthinking it, I don't know. Anyway, our conspiracy theorist mentions that Big Pharma and the like have a plan to keep us sick so they can keep making money off of us. Sounds crazy, I know, but what do you guys think?
I want you to see it for yourself. You see that? I'm gonna put in one finger. Trisodium phosphate.
So, what have we here?
How do you feel about the existence of vampires? For the subscribers of this channel, well, you already know that at this point anything seems possible. From fairies to mermaids and everything in between, the line between myth and reality keeps getting blurrier. Well, someone shared the footage online that stirred up the age-old debate about vampires. A man claims to have stumbled upon something incredible: the mummified remains of what appears to be a vampire. The footage shows a skeletal figure with a metal stake driven straight through its heart. Its hands are gripping the stake tightly as if trying to pull it out. The most chilling detail is its mouth is frozen open, revealing sharp, fang-like teeth. Could this really be evidence of a vampire, or is it just an elaborate hoax? What do you think?
So, what have we here?
Sam, do you need help? Do you need an umbrella? Are you okay? Your makeup's running. She's makeup.
Next up, we got this clip that's got the paranormal community divided. Once this was shared, a number of individuals believed it was a glitch. After it had been online for a while and had gone through many analyses, some individuals started calling it out for being fake. According to them, the clip may either have been edited, or the individual we see hanging is nothing but a doll being held together by thin, invisible strings. They also cite the relaxed mood of the drivers as a reason for their skepticism. What do you guys think?
Sam, do you need help? Do you need an umbrella? Are you okay? Your makeup's running. She's makeup.
Tell me why this tree looks like a tree person, because it seriously does. The branches and leaves on top look almost like wild, unkempt hair, and then there's this one lower branch stretching out like a bony arm reaching for something. The trunk itself, it's shaped way too much like a body standing tall like it's frozen mid-step. It's eerie, like some kind of ancient forest guardian or a spirit trapped in wood. It even reminds me of the Whomping Willow from Harry Potter. You see it. Once you notice it, you can't unsee it. I have a feeling that this tree might have dark stories. If you know anything about it, then please share.
Who are you? What are you?
Is this the right house?
Who are you?
Okay, test us the right house.
Who are you?
Okay, test us.
No.
Oh.
What? Yeah. Bye. Get out of my house.
The Ted's live here.
Who is Ted? He's
Ted.
lived here for
Ted.
2 years. Get out of my house.
Imagine being home and having unwanted visitors just waltz in without a care. And when I say unwanted visitors, this time I'm not referring to the paranormal kind, but instead those with flesh and blood. A woman was home alone when two men just casually walked in. She was a bit surprised when she saw them and asked what they wanted. The men stated that they were looking for their friend who lived in the building. She explained that there was no one in the house with that name and they just walked back out. The story did not end there though. They just stayed outside and then tried to come back in. This time she'd locked the door and they kept knocking. She was obviously scared at this point and decided to call the police. The men still remained, trying to get her to come to the door. She remained locked up until police arrived. The funny thing is, the men were still around and told the police it was a mix-up. The police also just walked to her and told her to stop freaking out and that it was an accident. Really? Imagine if they tried to overpower this woman whose husband was out running an errand. She would have been at their mercy. In fact, the situation shook her so much that she decided to get a firearm, and who can blame her? What would you have done in her situation, and do you think her reason for getting a firearm is justified? Let's hear your thoughts.
What are you?
Is this the right house?
Who are you?
Okay, test out the right house.
Who are you?
Okay, test out.
No.
Oh.
What? Yeah, bye.
Get
Get out of my house.
The Ted's liquor.
Who is Ted? We've
Ted.
lived here for 2 years. Get out of my house.
Hello? Hello?
A man ventured out for a solo camping trip in the woods, but what unfolded that night turned into a nightmare he will never likely forget. The eerie sequence began when he woke up in the middle of the night to strange noises outside his tent. Curious, yet fearful, he cautiously unzipped his tent to peek outside. In the dim moonlight, he spotted an odd figure standing by a tree. The figure was shrouded in darkness, its shape indistinct yet menacing. Terrified, he zipped the tent shut, only to muster the courage to look again. This time he caught sight of glowing eyes peering from the dark, their piercing light cutting through the shadows. Later in the night, the situation took a bizarre turn. Just outside his tent, he saw one of his items, possibly a camping tool, floating and rotating in mid-air. Overwhelmed by fear, he decided it was time to pack up and leave. However, even as he prepared to escape, his ordeal was not over. He spotted another pair of glowing red eyes staring at him from a tree branch. The predatory gaze seemed to follow him, heightening his terror. While the footage in his account remain unclear in parts, this experience will likely haunt him for the rest of his life. Would you dare to camp in the wilderness after hearing a story like this?
Hello? Hello?
Astagfirullahaladzim, astagfirullah. Dianami, ini dianami. Astagfirullahaladzim, ya Allah. Ya Allah, astagfirullahaladzim. Ya Allah, astagfirullahaladzim.
A group of friends were out one night enjoying themselves when they spotted something that froze them in their tracks. In the darkness, they noticed a figure. It's a humanoid shape levitating mid-air. The figure looked like a body wrapped in a white cloth, eerily hovering in place. It's unsettling to watch, and you can hear the fear in the voices of the people behind the camera as they shout out in terror. What could this be? A ghostly apparition?
Astagfirullahaladzim, astagfirullah. Dianami, ini dianami. Astagfirullahaladzim, ya Allah. Ya Allah, astagfirullahaladzim. Ya Allah, astagfirullahaladzim.
What you're looking at is said to be a 3,000-year-old water control system, an ancient technology that manipulates the flow of water with just a simple touch. In the video, there's a flat stone surface with a narrow path in the middle where water is flowing through steadily. Then a hand reaches in and sweeps across the path from left to right and then right to left. When the hand moves from left to right, the flow slows down, and when it moves from right to left, the water speeds up. Now, this might look like some sort of trick, but historians and researchers say these kinds of water control systems exist all over the world, built by ancient civilizations long before modern plumbing. Some believe this could be evidence of advanced hydraulic engineering from thousands of years ago, while others suggest it could be something even more mysterious, technology that we still don't fully understand. My money is on the latter. What would you consider scarier, seeing an unidentified man on your security cams or finding a paranormal humanoid, say a ghost? For the owner of this security cam, both experiences are not mutually exclusive. We're not sure what led him to that, but he decided to review footage from his security cam, and what he saw is what you're also seeing on your screen. Initially, he assumed it was a person, but the more he looked at the clip, the more he felt he was dealing with a paranormal being. He felt it could be a ghostly entity, but he didn't expect such an experience on his relatively normal property. He therefore uploaded the clip on a paranormal platform, hoping someone could attend to him. As always, the paranormal community treated it like life and death, with many scrutinizing the clip and coming up with theories. Many felt it was a paranormal being because although it was humanoid, it lacked discernible features that could make it human. Others also felt it was definitely human, and the low light had something to do with it looking all ghostly and soft in the image. You've seen the clip as well, so what's your theory?
Dogs go crazy at midnight for a variety of reasons, but when you're used to having quiet dogs who all of a sudden become noisy at night, you start to wonder what's setting them off. This was the situation for Oscar Martinez, and luckily for him, his property had a security cam. Once he began to go over the security cam footage, he saw what it was that was upsetting his dogs. It's, however, one thing to see the cause and another to recognize it. Martinez only saw a woman in white walking the streets close to his home. She had this eerie aura that made him believe he was dealing with a being that was not exactly human. He uploaded the clip seeking answers, and he did get a lot of them. The most predominant among the answers was that he may either be dealing with a distressed and lost spirit or dealing with La Llorona. If you're new here, La Llorona is said to be the spirit of a woman who, in a fit of rage of despair, drowned her children in a river after being abandoned or betrayed by her lover. Realizing the horror of her actions, she's consumed by grief and takes her own life. In the afterlife, she's cursed to wander the earth, crying out for her lost children and searching for them endlessly, much like the being we see moving in the clip. What do you think, though? Doors are essential for security. But what happens when the intruder is a huge black bear? A home security camera inside a living room captured startling footage of just such an event. The video shows the front door being forcefully opened, with the frame giving way under the bear's strength. Moments later, the massive animal strides into the house, casually exploring the space. Fortunately, the homeowners were not present during the incident. When they returned, they found the door ajar and watched the footage to uncover the cause and shared this video online. This is also a reminder to secure your homes, especially in areas where bears or other large creatures are known to roam.
A homeowner received a motion alert from her security system, which was odd because her entire family was away on vacation. No one should have been in the house. So she checked the live feed on her phone, and what she saw left her speechless. 2 glowing orbs floated through her living room, drifting slowly before disappearing out of the camera's view. These weren't just specks of dust catching the light, they were large, bright, and had deliberate movement to them. Skeptics say it's just dust or lens flare, but these orbs are way too defined and luminous to be something so ordinary. Paranormal enthusiasts believe orbs like these could be spiritual energy or even ghosts, but what do you think? There has always been a long-running conspiracy that the world is controlled by elite figures who work behind the scenes, keeping certain knowledge from the public. Some believe this completely, while others brush it off as just another wild theory. But this case, it might just prove that the theory is right. A man from Zimbabwe invented a generator that didn't use electricity but instead harnessed frequencies from the environment to produce power. Think about that. Free energy without the need for fuel or traditional electricity. But the moment his invention gained attention, everything took a dark turn. He was thrown in jail, and soon after, some foreign experts flew in to examine his patent. Then they took control of it, and he was flown out of Africa. Once he arrived in the new location, he was almost poisoned. Now, imagine if his invention had been allowed to exist. No more reliance on electricity grids, no more outrageous energy bills, and no more dependence on fossil fuels. That would completely disrupt the global power structure. So was all this just a coincidence, or is this proof that the shadow elites will do whatever it takes to keep control?
Russia has been embroiled in a drawn-out war for years, with the United States standing firmly on Ukraine's side. Recently, a move by outgoing U.S. President Joe Biden has sent shock waves worldwide. He authorized the use of U.S.-made missiles by Ukraine to target Russian territory. This action has escalated tensions dramatically, with many fearing it could spark a third world war. We know how volatile Vladimir Putin can be, and he's already responded. In a statement, Putin suggested that this move has brought the world closer to a direct war between Russia and the US, even hinting that he might consider the use of nuclear weapons. And we don't need to imagine what that means for humanity. It's catastrophic. But the real question is, why now? Joe Biden, the sitting president who is approaching the end of his term, seems frail even in public appearances. Yet here he is, making decisions with monumental consequences for global security. Is this really Biden's strategy, or is someone else pulling the strings behind the scenes? This man working in the sewers of London pulled out this creature from the sewer water. It's massive, and it's a slimy creature. Just look at the size of that thing. It's enormous, larger than anything you'd expect to find lurking in a sewer. The sewers are one of the least explored places in any city, filled with all kinds of waste, chemicals, and runoff. Who knows what sort of bizarre and potentially dangerous creatures could thrive in such an environment? If this footage is real, could this massive slug-like creature be some kind of mutation caused by chemical exposure? Or could it simply be a species we haven't encountered often due to the dark and hostile environment of the sewers? On the other hand, there's always the possibility that this is AI-generated footage. If that's the case, it's a chillingly convincing piece of work.
Over the years, The Simpsons has gained a reputation for making eerily accurate predictions, some of which have actually come true. Now, let's take a look at one of them. In this episode, Lisa discovers skeletal remains buried underground, but as she brushes off the dust, she realizes that these aren't just human remains, the skeleton has wings. Now here's where things get freaky. In real life, skeletal remains were discovered, and guess what? It had wings too. Some say this is just another wild coincidence, while others believe it's something much more deep. There's a theory that The Simpsons doesn't predict the future, but rather that the world is a stage set by the elites with a carefully controlled script where movies and shows are used to subtly foreshadow their plans. Sounds crazy, I know, but how else can we explain the many coincidences from just one show? Also, do you think the video discovery is real? This image was shared from Atlantic City, New Jersey on January the 30th. It shows a strange blue light in the sky, and when zoomed in, it appears to be a massive glowing blue orb with blurred lines and circular patterns around it. Now the big question, could this be a UAP? It definitely has that eerie otherworldly look to it. Some might argue it's just a lens flare or some atmospheric phenomenon, but that structured shape makes it seem like something more.
A woman was hiking when she spotted something unusual in the valley below. In the water, she observed a humanoid figure, but its bottom half resembled a fish. She believes it could be a mermaid. The creature's form seemed to align with traditional depictions of mermaids, blending human and aquatic features. However, the video remains unclear and many are debating its authenticity. While some see this as possible evidence of mythical sea creatures, others argue it might have been a misidentified animal, such as a seal or a manatee, or even an elaborate hoax. What are your thoughts? What do you reckon this is? Before you say leaf, take a closer look. It appears to have legs and is moving on the thumb of the individual filming. Shocked by the sight of this creature, he recorded it and then uploaded it asking for answers. Here's the thing though, our paranormal community has all kinds of people, including science whizzes like Julius, yet no one could identify what this is. I tried using AI and Google to get answers, yet even they couldn't help me. Does this mean this clip is fabricated, or are we dealing with something new? Something no one has heard of or seen before? I think I will let you guys answer this one. If you know what it is, kindly help us out in the comments section.
This boy was out in the woodlands riding his ATV, just enjoying the day. He'd set up a camera to film himself driving, but when he reviewed the footage later, he noticed something strange in the background. Take a look. There, right in front of the tree line, you can see it. A tall, dark figure moving through the woods. It's bipedal, walking with long, deliberate strides. As soon as the paranormal community got their hands on this footage, they were convinced that this was a Bigfoot sighting. People pointed out the height, the movement, and how it seemed to blend into the shadows of the forest. But here's the thing. There's something about it that just feels off. Maybe it's the way it moves, maybe it's too perfect. That's got people thinking that the whole thing is a hoax, but to each his own. What do you say? This footage is stunning. Someone captured these glowing lights streaking across the sky during sunset with trails of white, orange, and blue following behind. It doesn't look like fireworks. There's something too smooth and natural about the movement. Could it be a meteor shower? That seems like a strong possibility, especially with the way the colors mix as they burn up in the atmosphere. But then again, the way they move almost looks too controlled. Either way, whatever it is, there's no denying that it looks absolutely beautiful. What do you think it is?
Shiny, right? When I first saw this, I thought it was some sort of sword, but after a few seconds in, I realized it's actually alive. I assumed the light was coming off the fish, which would have been super cool. It took watching it a few more times to realize that there was a flashlight involved. Putting the flashlight on the fish made it look like there was light coming from it. But pay attention to the man's clothes. See it? Yep. Does that mean the fish isn't special? No, not all fishes shimmer and reflect light the way this one does. It's just beautiful. Does anyone know what fish it is, though? Julius, I wouldn't tell.
Sometimes it's not fancy equipment or high-tech gadgets that capture the strangest things. It's just, an ordinary home security camera running quietly in the background. A homeowner recently shared a clip from their security feed, claiming that they may have caught a UFO on tape. If you look closely at the top left corner of the footage, right up in the night sky, you'll see that something darts quickly across the screen. It's fast and then it's gone. Now, watch that part again. There it is. No blinking lights, no clear wings, nothing that says drone or airplane. It's just a silent, dark object slicing through the sky before vanishing into thin air. Could it have been a camera glitch? Maybe. A drone? Unlikely, considering the speed and trajectory. So that leaves us with the UFO theory. What do you think? And with that, we end today's episode. Thank you for staying with us. Before you go, are there clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. Oh, we can't wait to receive what you have. I've been Steve. This has been Classified Captures. Share this with someone you love, and I'll see you in the next one.